Part of being a day trader is understanding that you're always a student of the market. This week, I want to work on 3 things. I got 3 ideas that I believe will really help me lock in more profit, lock in better trades, and also stay out of a lot of the trades that I don't need to take when it's choppy and the market's not making the moves that we're looking for. We're going to talk about those 3 ideas, preparing for another week of tackling the stock market, trading futures live right here on YouTube. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Patrick here. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, subscribe button, you know what to do. Today we're talking about 3 ideas, 3 things that I want to do this week to really try to focus on locking in my profit. I want to really focus on knowing kind of why I'm entering a trade. Is there a action that's creating a reaction? And then also trying to stay out of the chop, only waiting for the best setups. If you tune into the live streams, you've probably seen me do this. If you guys tune into the live streams in the morning at 9:15 a.m., you've probably already seen me do this too many times than I want to admit. But how many times do I enter a trade? I'm up $1,000, $2,000, and then the trade ends up pulling back, stopping me out at break even, and then I'm like, why did this happen? And the thing is, like, we know why it happened, because we had a good trade, we hit our target, we got greedy, and the market pulls back. What do we know? We know the market is not going to go straight up, right? Like, we just know that. We believe that, we trade that way, we understand that. So if I'm in a trade, and let's say like this, for example, this is a good example. We know that if we look here, we have resistance at this level going across here, right? We know there's resistance right there. So let's say I jump in here for this breakout on the 1-minute chart. We have it all lined up. We're above the VWAP. That's our setup. I mean, I think we might have actually taken this trade. But in general, let's just like think about this, all right? I'm in this trade. How do we manage it, all right? The market's moving higher. It's moving higher. There's probably a really good chance that I would put my stop right here at the 240s on this kind of double bottom bounce off of the 21 EMA. The problem here is if I stay in this trade and I just think the market's going to go higher forever, and I'm like, oh, it's just going to go higher and higher, like it's never going to pull back. That's literally just me being greedy, thinking that I'm not going to take profit because I think it's going to push higher. And the problem too is, like, I think what really happens here is that we know there's resistance there. We push up to that resistance and you're like, well, it's going to break through. Look at, we just reversed off the bottom. It's going to break through. The market's going to go higher. Why would I sell? And then guess what happens? Disbelief happens. The market pulls back from like the 260s here, and guess where it goes to? It goes to my stop, and then it stops me out. So instead of locking in, 20 more points to the upside at our target, remember this was our target, that resistance there. We hit our resistance. Why did I not lock in the profit? Because I go from thinking like, oh, this is my target, to now that we're at my target, I'm like, well, it's going to just keep going higher and higher forever. It's going to go straight up, right? Like, it's just going to go straight up here. But really, we know it's not. But when you're in that trade, the emotion takes over, the greed takes over, and you're like, well, it's going to break through here, then it's going to go to this level. The thing is, even if it breaks to the upside, like even if it keeps going higher, it's going to pull back at some point. It's going to give us another opportunity to jump in. Like, we made 20, 30, 40, 50 points on that trade. So it's like, why am I going to not take profit here? Instead, I'm going to sit here and be greedy and let it pull back, stop me out at the 40s, and I'm entered there at the 30s. So I could have taken, a 30-point winner, but instead I'm greedy and I'm wanting this to go higher. So I let it pull back, stop me out, and I only get out for 10 points. Like, that is unacceptable. I cannot be doing that. It's not good for my overall win-loss ratio in terms of my risk reward. If I'm getting stopped out at break even all the time, and waiting for it to pull back. And it's not that I'm against break even trades, but I'm saying I should never let a 40-point runner, a 40-point move, pull back and stop me out. Because that's exactly, like, we know the market pulls back. We know the market moves in waves. We believe that. We trade off of that. So why would we not take profit on that very simple idea? If I believe the market moves in waves and the market just made a wave higher, well, what's going to happen next? Like, if I believe that I'm going to get long here because the market's going to make a push up, what would be my reason to hold on to that profit knowing that the market's going to probably pull back here? Like, well, that's just greed. That's nothing more than greed. So this week, I really want to focus on making sure that I'm not letting these trades pull back on me, stop me out. You know, nothing wrong with holding a winner, but at the same time, you can't let a 40-point winner turn into just a 10-point winner. Like, that's unacceptable. You just can't do it. You see how the market pulls back here either way. So it's like, I could have just sold right here, took profit at the 270s, and then, you know, always re-entered later. I could have got another setup right here. So we could have taken profit there at our target, and then I could have re-entered here. So it's like, take profit, wait for the pullback for our next setup. There's our next setup. We jump in here, and then it's off to the races again, right? Like, there we go. This move from the 50s up here to the 90s. So it's like, that's just me locking in more profit and making more profit potential instead of trying to hold through this. Like, if I held through this, think about it. If I lock in 40 points here, there's 40 point I locked in on this trade. Well, that's great. I locked in 40 points. But if I let this thing pull back and stop me out, that's only 10 points here. Let's say 10 points there. But let's say I'm stubborn and I'm not going to take out of the trade. I'm not getting out no matter what. Well, now the market pushes from this high 70 up to the 90s. So that's only 60 points if we held all the way from here, right? That's 60 points. But if I take my 40 points in profit and then I re-enter here at the, let's say 55s, 56s, 60s, whatever, that's 30 points. So this is now a 70-point trade, entering 2 times on this setup or this move. That's 70 points. There's a lot of numbers on there. But instead of only making 60 points, I've now made 70 points. I've locked in my profit as well. Like, we never know it's going to go higher, right? But locking in 40 points on this move up, at least I guaranteed I just locked in 40 points. Like, it's, you know, you can't question that. I locked it in. I took profit. Now we have another setup, and now I'm locking in, you know, not 70 points here for this 30-point move. So it's like, it's much safer, much better, mentally, everything, emotionally, to lock in that profit, Patrick. Remember this right now in this moment. I'm talking about it, but tomorrow when I'm trading, Patrick, remember this right now. I need to like send a message to the future. Patrick, remember, wait, I can watch this video tomorrow morning when I wake up. Another focus for this week is waiting for the market to get tight. I want the market to get really, really tight. I want something to look like it's about to explode. I want the market to be like, hey, there's a big move about to happen. The market's getting very tight, and this is where I want to be entering. This is where I want to be taking my trade. I don't want to be entering when the market's just like ranging up and down, up and down, up and down for 30 minutes straight. No, I want to wait till the market's like getting tighter and tighter and tighter. You can see right here on the chart as this thing's kind of just, let's say, just do. But look at how this right here gets really tight at the end of the day. Those last 2 candles right there, they're like, right here, we didn't go up, we didn't go down, we kind of just got right there in this flat line almost. Like, we're just flat right there. It's getting tight. The market's about to break either to the downside or to the upside. We don't care either way which way the market goes, but we know that there's something about to happen. It's getting really tight right there. The price action has just been kind of, you know, do. And look at how those waves here are basically getting tighter and tighter on this move. So we finally get to a point where it's like, this is where I want to be entering. I want to be waiting for that market to get really tight. I think we had another good setup here on Friday as well when we had that same kind of thing. You know, we want these pullbacks. We want this tight area. Look at how tight the market got right here before this big move up. And what's interesting, you got this trap right there as well. You got the trap right there. The market was basically just going sideways there, got the trap, and then that big reversal. I think that's when the numbers came out. Yeah, 10 a.m. numbers came out there. So the market got really tight there. So we can wait for the move to happen, and then we take the trade. I think that's a really good way to avoid the chop, avoid the areas where the market's not moving. If the market is simply just going sideways and you can just easily draw a channel on it, like if you're just like, channel, you know, easy, well, then you know that the market is basically just going sideways. So let's stay out of that. Let's stay out of the chop. Let's stay out of the sideways action. Let's wait for the market to get really tight and wait for the market to literally be like, hey, I've got to take a trade right here. Like, I've got to take a trade right here because the market is literally just about to make a big move, my friends. The third focus right now for me is really kind of looking at the bigger time frames and asking myself, okay, why is the market going to move to this level? Is it going to move up, move down, liquidity? Well, let's ask ourselves these questions. Like, we're entering a trade and we're looking at the small time frame. We're like, oh, okay, I'm jumping in. But really, we're looking at the bigger time frames to get an idea of like, hey, is there a action? Did something happen? Did the market bounce off a key level? Did the market get stuck at a key level? Is there something happening to really justify this move? Like, I want to really be able to look at this chart, 15-minute chart right here with the Lux Algo concepts on there, draw on the trend lines, and we can see like we're looking for something like to happen, a reaction, an action, a reaction, right? And like this move right here, we had this pullback. We got stuck here at this level. We pulled back, but look what happened. We had like support right there at the 97s. And then guess what? We trapped below there. The market pulls back, bounces off that liquidity trend line, and then makes the move higher. And look at how beautiful this move was higher. From the 200s up there to almost the 300s there on the 15-minute chart. So it's like, we really want to be asking ourselves, why is the market going to move to that level? What is going on at that level? The same idea here. It's like if we get stuck here, well, there's a good chance the market kind of wants to pull back and test this overall trend, this level down here, and that's exactly what it did. You can see the trap right there. The trap is real, right? So the trap happens and then the move happens. So again, it's like the more that we can kind of ask ourselves simple questions of like, why is this going to happen? Why is the market going to move higher? End of day, it's like, look at this move right here. We kind of trapped. You got a little breakout to the upside here at the end of the day, and then we get the big squeeze at the end of the day up there almost to the 340s. So the trap happens, the shorts pile in there. The shorts pile in right there. The trap happens, the market pulls back, kind of traps the downside as well. A little volatility right there, and then makes the big move. So it's like really asking ourselves before we enter the trade, it's like, if I enter this trade, why is there a reason for the market to go higher? Well, my reason for the market to go higher here is that we know that liquidity is just sitting there above these highs. So if we start to push, those shorts are going to get squeezed, and then that's the move. So it's almost like if we can create a simple reason to why the market's going to move higher or move lower based on the levels, the liquidity, things like that, the more that we can make it very simple to like know why the market's going to move, well, then we can get really excited for the market to move. We're not excited, but like we can basically take a trade knowing that the market's going to move because we have like a legitimate thesis, a legitimate hypothesis on why the market's going to move higher. Hypothesis, the thesis, you want to be able to really like sell yourself on why you're taking a trade, not just look at it and be like, well, the market's going higher, I'm going to get in. I don't want to just buy because I'm like, well, the market's moving. We don't want to be entering a trade just because the market's moving, if that makes sense. Like we want to be entering a trade because we have a reason to believe the market's going to push to a level based on liquidity, based on the levels and all that fun stuff. So we really want to focus on asking ourselves, why are we entering the trade? What is our thesis? What is our reason for entering the trade? Do we believe it's going to go higher based on what reasons? Like what are the reasons for entering this trade? Not just because the VWAP, not just because the EMA or the indicator or anything like that. It's based on why is the market going to want to move higher? Why is the market going to move lower? Asking ourselves these questions is going to help us avoid a lot of those bad trades or just trades that we don't need to take in general, or avoid some of the losses that are also avoidable because we can just stay out of the bad areas. So it's really important to be able to like answer that question before you enter the trade. Like, why am I entering this trade? Why do I believe the market's going to go higher? Why do I believe the market's going to make this move? Is there an actual reason? Is there a level that needs to be touched? Is there something going on that justifies this market moving higher? As day traders, we're always learning. We're always seeing new things. We're always kind of focusing on like, what can I do to be a better day trader? What can I do personally? And the thing is, the market's going to move. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. We can't control what the market's going to do, but we can control our actions. We can control buying and selling, right? We can control these little things that are going to help us avoid the big losses instead of just like randomly jumping in on a trade. Like just simply being able to answer these questions of like, why am I entering? What's going on? Am I not taking profit at a target that I already placed? If I place a trade and my target gets hit, like, am I still going to be greedy and be like, well, I'm going to be greedy because I think the market's going to go higher and higher the rest of the day. No, like these are all things that have to do with us, emotions. The market's giving us a setup. The market's giving us a way to make money. We as humans, we apply emotion to those things and then we end up losing money because the emotion takes over and we don't do what we need to do. So removing that emotion and understanding the why is a very powerful thing. If you guys haven't already kind of figured out the why, you haven't figured out why the market's going to move higher, well, then you need to go back and put in some more work, put in some more time. There it is. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, subscribe button, all the buttons down below. We'll be live tomorrow morning, 9:15 a.m. I'll talk to you guys then.